3, 2, 1, action!
What is up, students? Welcome back to FAB School. I'm T.
And I'm Evan, and today we're joined by a special substitute teacher, one of the best players in the game, in my opinion, Nick Butcher.
This week, Nick is going to join us to talk about the ban list changes, as well as the LL Battle Hardened that Evan got second place in Orlando a couple weeks ago. So let's just get right into it and start off with some ban list discussion.
Dude, I didn't think they had it in them. I can't believe they killed my tipples.
I can't
Kind
believe
of
they shot
surprised.
you. They shot Evan right in the
Yeah,
forehead.
they just killed me. No, I do think Grady's still playable, but I am surprised they took the route of banning Golden Tipple. I really didn't think they had it in them to hit him that hard, to be honest.
Golden Tipple Red, Golden Tipple Yellow, Bonds of Agony, Plume of Evergrowth, Talk a Big Game, all banned. Germinate, unbanned. Talk a Big Game, another preemptive ban. We've seen this in the past before heavy hitters, right? Where they banned a card that would have broken KO, I think.
Berserk.
Yeah, Berserk.
No, Berserk got banned after LA, I think.
Was it after LA? I thought it was I don't know. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, another preemptive ban where it's interesting because it's a card that was like completely unplayable, and now we're just banning it. It makes me interested to see what happens in this set.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, it's probably like not the craziest band. There's a lot of like new Intimidate stuff going on, and I have a feeling it'll probably be really good in like Lyeth, just because he seems like he'll be a like an Aura Guardian, so he'll be pumping your attacks to get around his hero ability.
Yeah.
And
From
Talk a
KO
Big Game
too.
seems like it'll just be really good in that.
Because KO can intimidate 4 cards from your hand off like 2 cards. So it's so easy to like get rid of their whole hand and then come in with another attack afterwards. And so you can always call like 7 or 8 on like this big turn and just do way too much. So
Yeah, I feel like if it's any like if you're getting like 4 mites out of it every time you play it, at least. Like if you're averaging that much, I think the card's probably a little broken
Blue zero
for
for
being a
fours
blue
do
block
seem
three.
good. Yeah. Blue 0 for 4 block 3 seems a little okay. Yeah.
I
Uh,
think it still would be legal. It's more like when they get to 7, it's like, oh, this sucks. Or they play 2 in 1 turn and then intimidate your whole hand. And then it's like, oh, this is crazy.
yeah, if the floor is 4 and the ceiling is like 7 or 8, then that's probably reasonable. But I mean, it might even get better. Like we might see something like Florian Hero Power, but for might tokens, or I don't know. I don't know what to expect from the set, but they have their reasons, right? Bonds of Agony ban. This is gonna take away some of the inevitability from Slippy and Mario, but probably doesn't take them out of the meta. I don't think. I think that these decks are still going to be pretty playable. They just lose some of the potential to be like asking your opponent the question instead of presenting your own question from your deck.
Yeah, I will say like I think it's kind of fucked in Slippy when you can just play like Bonds of Agony with 4 cards in hand still. Like it's kind of a
Yeah.
lose-lose situation when it comes to blocking at that point. I am kind of surprised though they actually banned Bonds of Agony and not just take up the mantle.
I was begging everyone, please ban Bonds of Agony. It's so lame to play against, and it's just been around for too long. And all the people that are like, "Oh, Bonds is fine. You just have to learn how to block it." It just, I don't even understand like how you can like say that with a straight face. Where like I watched a calling final where a guy attacks with Bonds for 4 because of the Orb Weaver and then pumps it to 17. And so I wanted to, everyone who's like, oh, just learn how to block it. Teach me. Like, where's your metaphor to teach me how to block it from going from 4 to 17? I don't understand how that's like fun at all.
Well, you should have
Like, to
just
play
blocked
against.
it. You should have just blocked it for 17, and then they don't use those pump spells, and then they kill you on their neck. Oh,
Yep.
yeah. Okay, I see your point. So Bonds ban, but Assassin still probably playable. Golden Tipple, red and yellow. Like we said, they shot Evan in the forehead in game. So what are we cooking in the kitchen now, Evan?
Dude, I don't know yet. That's not true. I've been cooking a little bit. I think you have to change the deck from like what I played in the call in Kansas City now to probably a more aggressive build that plays like prismatic ley lines and more reds, but I'm still cooking.
If you ask some people, prismatic ley line was always the truth in Gravy. So now it's just shifting over to that being more true in your opinion?
Yeah, I'll just have to accept that now.
I think it's such
You
a
don't
good
have enough like
change.
gold generation, so it's a lot harder to like chain allies every turn.
Yeah, things like sea legs get a lot worse too.
Yeah, Sea Leg sucks. Don't play that card anymore. It's bad.
Sorry,
It's such
Brennan.
a good change in my opinion. Like
Good change.
it just makes the deck way more different. And it just makes the format more fresh. Because my opinion is that the format was so boring because everything was solved, and now you just get to do a completely fresh thing. Is it going to be as good as before? No, but at least you get to like experiment, play with different cards, and have more fun that way. And instead of being like, I just want to play the same deck over and over again and not change anything. And I just find that really boring. And with more ban lists means that they can just unban it if it's not that good, and they change whatever they do. As long as there's not time, because they said in the announcement that they're just going to do more ban lists, and because like other games, like they patch the game every 2 weeks, and it's fine. So
Yeah,
they
and
can
them
just keep patching the
unbanning,
game.
they unbanned Germinate as a token of good faith towards that, I think, because, like they said, they overcorrected on Florian when it was the biggest piece of the meta. So if they decide that banning the Tipples made Gravy completely unplayable, it's possible that we get, like, yellow back in the future and maybe just red stays banned. Or maybe we get red and yellow back and they ban blue instead. So they're opening themselves up to this, like, more liberal bans and unbans system, which is, I think, mostly healthy. Decks in general are still pretty expensive for cost of entry for most players, so that part kind of sucks. You're going to have to basically have like 2 decks on standby and then wait while one is kind of unplayable for a while, but we still have a lot of competitive overlap, and they're kind of shifting away from playing some of the staples that are more expensive from the past. In my opinion, it looks like the game is shifting in a way where they're trying to design these specific cards into each class. So we're having like a little bit of power overlap where everybody's super overpowered right now. And then maybe in a year's time, when every class has their own class specific CNC, maybe actual CNC gets banned, or like Sink Below is removed from the game, Shelter removed from the game. Maybe things like that get phased out as we get more class specific versions. So the like cost problems aren't going to be as big in the next year, 2 years, I could see. So then this like liberal ban list ideology is pretty cool. Like you said, it opens up a lot of fresh metas. You come from Yu-Gi-Oh! I come from Magic. I mean, these are just parts of the game. So
Yeah, like you pay you pay to play your hobby. It's like, how many people play golf and say, "Oh, I make big money and I love golf. I make so much money." It's like that doesn't happen. You pay like an expensive amount of money to have a good time.
right.
It's not like I don't understand that. You buy your clubs and you play them once and you've lost a lot of money. Like you don't think about it. It's just, I like doing this. Yeah, it's card games have a very strange ecosystem for sure.
And that's another big thing is like we are very lucky to be able to play the games and enjoy the games and travel and everything. So just being a part of the community is awesome, and everyone's so friendly and willing to help each other out. So just existing in the card game ecosystem, even if I had nothing to start with and had to start over, I would still be happy to be a part of the community.
Yeah, and they're only banning a common, so mostly commons from this ban list or cards that weren't worth much. So
Yeah,
in terms of that,
Bonds of Agony, Death doesn't actually kill Assassin. Assassin's still very playable. Tipple bans, you lose like Sea Legs changes from the deck, but like you might have to pick up prismatically lines, maybe like Loan Sharks, just things to replace them and like slightly adjust how the deck is being built. But overall, the core of the deck is still the same. It's not like you're having to buy another Dead Threads, another Hook, still the same. Plume of Evergrowth ban, you might have to buy a Crown of Providence or something like that.
That's a staple. That's a staple. So if
Most
you don't have
decks
that
are already
anyway,
playing
then
it anyway.
yeah, if you don't have that anyway, then
you're not really missing out on a whole lot there. Like, you're not incurring a big additional expense that wouldn't follow over to whatever you play afterwards anyway. And then talk a big game ban. This card was a quarter. Doesn't matter. Also preemptive to
Never
stop
played
people. Germinate Unban gave you a good window. If you thought that they might ever do this, it was like a quarter for a while. So you could have bought a set while they were $1. If you didn't, I'm sorry. But $20 for a playset is still like not unreasonable for a card like Germinate. And then if you still had your Florian cards from before, when it was a big piece of the meta then you're still back and ready to go again.
I would say Germany was like $3, I think, even when Florian was good. So
Yeah.
I really find the post about Marlon incredibly funny, that Golden Tipple doesn't make her good regardless. And I just found that super funny, where like her full potential is coming in the future, but at the start of High Seas, the old anecdote was always, oh yeah, Puffin and Marlon, they're incredibly hard decks to build and figure out. And now at the end of the format, it's, oh yeah, Marlon's dog shit and always was. So she'll get more support in the future. And I'm like, there's nothing wrong with like Byron Go being like,
dude, they gotta
going
sell
back
their
and say-
sets, bro.
Exactly. I just find it very funny how like it's always, oh yeah, these decks are incredibly hard to build, and I always think, yep, it's bad. That's always
They said that about. They said it
Max
about
Nitro
Prism.
probably. Like,
Yeah, I remember like Prism pre-Luminaris getting printed. I
it's like
remember
mega brain deck and
J-Dubs hit
broken
that.
equipment. Yeah.
You
And
just
that's
have
got
to
support
pay
and-
2
so
mana
much
for go
support.
again.
Yeah, only 2.
Only 2 for each time. Yeah. Busted. So, yeah, they kind of shoot a couple of side decks like Marlin. I know Yuha was pretty upset about it, but
He's one of 2 people in the world, 2 kids, so, you know, that sucks for them. But
It's just Yuha and one of my locals.
if they were playing Marlin anyway, then I'm sure they don't care that Tipper got banned because they were getting rolled either way. And if they were playing it for fun, then it's still fun. I don't know. I can't talk for them because I'm not one of those people. So
yeah.
just in my head,
G.
they're gonna have a good time either way playing their Marlin deck.
We also have the Plume of Evergrowth ban, which I know you have some opinions on, Nick, because you've been in the kitchen.
Oh yeah, that's a buff. Honestly, a Plume Bam is
A
a
buff?
buff. It's a buff because I swear people just overrated the combo in general, and they still will. But with the new card coming out, you can actually overlap Arcane pretty effectively, and I don't think Plume was that necessary. Like, I understand I get to add back, light up the leaves, and burn you whenever I feel like, which was like pretty strong. But giving up Crown of Providence to do that actually was probably not even that good in general, because you give up powerful cards like Mental Block. So I don't think that was like a particularly powerful play, because you could always Plume for 7, and like it's a 2 damage difference before then, and people weren't doing that. And I think the combo's dead now, honestly. People will still play it because it's going to be a while for people to adapt. They might be a bit slow to that, but I feel it's so unnecessary now, especially where Amulet of Echoes is very strong against it. Arcane Compliance is strong, because if you're going to combo, you definitely need Surge and Aethertide to do anything, and then that's a lot of deck slots. And because you can't like go, okay, I have double Rampant Growth, I can Plume 1 back, and I have 3. Now you need to hard draw all 3 to do 37 damage. And if a deck's like fatiguing you, and not trying to interact with you at all, I don't think that's enough damage if you're like not pressuring them in any way throughout the rest of the game. And then you get to this point, and then you play against Florian, who just came back, and they have Reaping Blade, and so you can't combo them anyway. Like, I feel that it's a net positive, and people can now fit more deck slots for the Gravy matchup, and play cool cards like the 6 Burn Bears and chip them down. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I think that's totally reasonable. What do you think that Verdance will still be posed well into the next format once she gets the new card?
I think it's a tier 1 deck for sure. Gravy losing 2 tipples makes matchups like this way better for the other matchups, because Golden Tipple drawing an extra card, making an extra gold, which draws you another card, means you draw less. It takes you a lot longer to draw Conqueror of the High Seas, and if a deck is racing you, then Conqueror of the High Seas is definitely the best card in those matchups. And I feel with 6 Burn Bears now, you can do enough arcane damage to, clear a Sawbones with an outed and then just go face the rest of the time and get a win that way. That's
fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know you're really passionate about Earth Heroes in general. You're a big tree enjoyer. So, what do you think of the Germinate unban?
Honestly, I don't think it matters that much.
No.
Maybe you have angles. I think also another thing with Plume is that now that Florian has Deny Redemption, if you just set up a potion combo and they pop 1 potion and they say, okay, gain 2, prevent the damage, and they go discard Deny Redemption on the second healing potion, your whole game was just ruined just from that. Like, you just can't win after that. So that's another reason why. If Florian's the fatigue deck of choice, then you go to combo doesn't do anything, which is why I think Germinate being back is good. It kind of like puts these decks in check where they're trying to fatigue or play a long game. But I think Germinate won't matter because what it seems like the new heroes, they all set up like massive auras. So if you're Florian, you're left with a 5-card hand. It's very hard to convert a lot of the time, whereas they're setting up auras constantly and doing massive on-off turns. So Florian doesn't fare well into that. So I don't think the Germinate ban really matters that much, but decks like Jarl are going to suffer. But who cares?
Jarl deserves to suffer.
Maybe this takes the format in an interesting direction where, like, banning things that make gravy faster slows the format down, but then a slower format is both good and bad for things like Florian, or a slow format is bad for everything if full combo verdance exists. So maybe, just maybe, hear me out here, LSS has done something incredibly good, and I'm happy to exist in this format.
Like, Germinate being unbanned is a net positive because people can play Florian, and because people like Florian.
Yeah, and then when people play Florian, that means that people will play Syndra, and then when people play Syndra and Florian, I get to play Kano. All good. I'm here for it.
The next cringe. I hope they just ban Kano in the next BNR, right before Worlds.
It's gonna die in the ProQuest season anyway. It won't matter.
Dude, I pray.
I'll give it a few points. It's dead in the ProQuest season. Like 100%.
I'm checking.
I think it's at like 890 or 900 or something.
888 or something.
Yeah, but it also gets the point buff because it's an older hero.
I think it has to win 30 ProQuests or something.
I'll win 1 on it, and then...
Not 2?
Oh, shit, he's at 887.
Yeah, he's almost there. I can't win 2, so...
Please get him out.
I'll do my best.
There's 3 Battle Hardens this weekend, too, so...
Oh, no. Wait, that means he might die before ProQuest season?
Maybe.
If he wins all 3 Battle Hardens. No.
No. I would be happy to live in such a blessed world where that's the case.
Bro, let me get my ProQuest invite at least, man. Come on.
Dude, you can play a real deck like the rest of us, T. I know you got it in you.
You can't make me. Moving on from the CC ban list. Blitz isn't a real format, so we don't have to worry about that, but Talk a Big Game was banned there as well. Living Legend, which is now a real format, being that it is part of the Worlds format in Philly. Deadwood Dirge is unrestricted. You may now
they
play
had to.
all the Dirges. Do you reckon that they did this because they saw Cody Williams' tweet, or do you reckon that they did this because you were still winning with Boomer Chain and they wanted everybody else to win and not just you for being incredibly smart?
I have a third option, and that is the Viserai Living Legend Armory deck plays 3 Deadwood Dirge, so I think they had to. But I also think like Viserai seemed a little underrepresented from like skirmish wins as well as at the Battle Hardened. I think only one person played it. So I think the deck's still good. I think the deck was still good like before Deadwood Dirge got banned, but it's probably a lot better. And also Runegate Chain gets to exist now, so that's pretty cool.
Do you think more stack decks like Stack Florian, Stack Viserai are going to pop up across Living Legend, or do you think the format's still too fast?
So like Stack Florian I think can exist, but it probably just isn't that great. It kind of just depends. I feel like you probably don't have the best Briar matchup depending on how their like first 4 turns go. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of aggro decks, but like I don't know if you even have blocking power about like Crown of Seeds. It gets a little sketchy, I think.
That's fair.
I do think though, like the stack Viceroy deck, like I think almost all of Viceroy decks in LL are like a semi-stack deck. They usually get to like 10-ish rune chance and then go off. So that'll definitely help towards that.
Yeah, just more of like turn on, turn off, turn on, turn off, like kind of like what Vincent does, but better.
Yeah, and especially in this format too. Like a lot of the times, I think most of your games as Viceroy will go like you spend like the first 4 or 5 turns like making a handful of rune chance, and then you just pop off because you have Skeleton and play like a 7 card hand and kill your opponent.
Yeah, that's fair. Nick, you're a Skeleton enjoyer.
Am I?
So I've heard through the grapevine.
All right, all right.
Do you have any thoughts on Living Legend? Anything changes? Anything for the format?
I don't think this change matters at all, honestly. I feel that Deadwood Dirge doesn't like I'm pretty sure the second place Battle Hardened list will be more popular even with Deadwood Dirge Unlimited just because being able to use call for backup just to as a pot of greed is just stronger than messing around with Dirge and trying to like angle to like banishing the right cards and like destroying your it net negatives your ramping, right? So I don't think the change is that important. I think for a deck like that kind of chain deck that plays all the rune gates you need, I think Husk was a big part of that deck to survive big turns and then pop off. But we'll see. I think other decks are stronger, but I can see it being relevant on the next ban list, where like they might nerf like limit Needle or unban something else or hit another deck. Who knows what they'll do? But for now, there's also not that many events that are Living Legend to give enough data to figure out if this actually is relevant or not. But a buff to Viserai, a buff to certain chain strategies is just more options and therefore a net positive.
Well, thankfully, when the next ban list comes out, we'll have plenty of time to test with it before the Worlds format.
Yeah, but on the plus side is everyone gets the same amount of time to test, so there's no reason to complain.
Listen,
That is true.
let me complain anyway.
Go on. Yeah, I'm happy to have a nice debate with you. Go on.
No, not a debate. I don't bully me. I just want to complain. Completely free from consequence. I want to complain.
Go ahead. I'll let you complain.
Okay.
The classroom is the safe space, you know.
For those who don't know, the next ban list comes out on November 3rd. The changes go live on November 10th. Worlds is that weekend. Or the weekend after. It's in November. It's like immediately after. Why do we keep publishing ban lists right before the format? Right before the big tournament? Even aside from the amount of testing that it takes, you are just restricting the amount of time for people to acquire cards for the event if they don't already have the cards for everything in the format. Why?
You gotta stay on your toes, you know. Always be vigilant.
Vigilance is in Magic. I wanted a better game. That's why I went to Flesh and Blood.
I enjoy a brand new. I'm in the camp of everyone's affected the same, so it's a net. It doesn't affect anyone more negative. And the concept of people have to travel 20 hours to get to Worlds, and it's like, okay, like they'll have the ban list before then, and they can just solitaire on a plane. They can use Wi-Fi on the plane and play on Talishar. They can do all these different things if they really, really wanted to get their grind on. So everyone's in equal camp, and it just keeps it fresh. Like. And also gives silver bullets. Like it also like prevents silver, like something happening where someone breaks the game completely and then they have to get it fixed. And I don't know, it ends up being the same. I like it because, as I said, it's the same with like the Tipple ban. Everything, it just keeps things fresh. You have to learn new things. Everyone's on an equal playing field. And if someone has a broken deck and then it didn't get hit, I mean, they had an advantage anyway. So good for them. Like I don't know. Yeah, to me, it's perfectly fine. I like keeping it fresh, and getting into worlds where things are unknown is exciting in a way. Because if you think you've figured something out, and someone else thinks they figured something else, and then you meet in the arena, and then you fight it out to see who was right and who wasn't. So seems good to me. I enjoy it. Also, a lot of worlds and nationals and pro tours have followed the same formula. So.
Yeah, I don't mind the fresh format. I think that that's cool. And like when the format's not completely solved, it does make for an interesting viewer experience, I think. For me, I just don't like the card acquisition part. That's my biggest problem with the quick ban list is like
That's fair.
frantically trying to find things in the hall when you're already in the city, state, or country, right? Like
That's
it's
fair.
just a
But you
little
do have
annoying.
2 weeks to acquire the cards.
Yeah.
And there is great vendors that you can go up to at the World Championships.
You could hit up Invasion, get all your singles that you need.
Yes. Yes. Actual sponsored. Invasion CNC in Canada, Invasion Incorporated, Invasion Comics, invasioncnc.ca. Evan, congratulations on getting second in the Battle Hardened, taking home some cash and a PTI for your troubles.
Thank you.
We had a few teammates participating in that event, 3 converting into top 8, 1 to top 8, 1 to top 4, 1 to finals. James Warburton in top 4, Evan in finals, and Jacuzer in top 8. So, all 3 of you on chain?
No, James. We all played Boomer decks.
Oh, okay.
James just played he played Bravo, star of the show.
Okay, a
Still
little
good, by the
Starvo
way.
action. Yeah.
That deck, kind of nice still.
Okay.
You peep the list. I think there's some good technology in there. Big fan of the tectonic crust and Jarl gloves.
Crust. Whoa.
It gets you a free seismic surge token for whenever you draw your 7 cost. It's kind of clean.
That's kind of nice.
But let's move on to a real cool deck, Chain. Oh my god, I love Chain so much, and I do not think this deck was dead before Deadwood Dirge got unbanned. Boomer Chain is better than ever. Call for Backup is so nice in this deck when you draw it in your hand when you pass turn. When you draw off Art of War or Plunder Run, it's a little clunky, but it's 2-block Pod Agree. Doesn't get much better than that.
Yeah, I mean, we've determined that that's the gold standard. They all got banned. LSS Fahrenheit 451 to the books, so that's a book.
All right, I got 2 things I do want to say about LL though, and I think Briar sucks. Maybe not Briar. Briar probably doesn't suck, but I think all the lists for Briar that are going around do suck, and they are so unoptimized. They play so many bad cards.
I think the
Secondly,
important thing about that is that because LL is still even now such an unexplored format for most people, take the lists that you see online with a grain of salt, because if it's untested and it's just like, haha, I love this hero, I'm going to play these cards, and I love this card, I'm going to play this. Like, if you're online looking for an LL list and you're just like, oh, let me just grab the first Dromai list I see, take it with a grain of salt. Think about it for yourself, play some games.
I'm gonna be so for real. I think with all these LL events, you really do have to take them with a grain of salt. Like all of the tier 4 events that have LL Battle Hardens on the Sunday, no one in that event is planning to play the Sunday Battle Hardened. So everyone is just scrounging for cards. So none of the lists are gonna be optimized. Secondly, for the standalone Battle Hardened, I'm pretty sure for probably 70% of the room that was within their first 5 games of LL. When they sat down that Saturday.
And also, how many people were in that event?
There was a clean, I think, 53.
That probably makes it the smallest Battle Hardened ever, right?
That is probably might be the smallest Battle Hardened ever. Probably
since
the
they've been
smallest
Battle Hardens
in the last 2 years at least.
Yeah, so the event is good, and I'm not trying to discount all of your victories, right? It's still big. You still played a whole day of games and made it to the top. Still a very good accomplishment. But if you are listening to this and you're just pulling deck lists and immediately jamming games, if you don't understand the reason behind the card selection, then maybe the person who built the deck didn't either. So play some games, make your own decisions, make changes to the deck list, play what you feel comfortable with, and good luck to everybody with building and testing deck lists for Living Legend, for Worlds in Philly, because thank God we don't have to play Blitz, and thank God we don't have to play a terrible limited format.
I will say though, James and I did test LL, so if you're looking for a list, I would say those are good places to start if you want to play Starvo or Chain.
Yeah, like you can start there, but also just make sure you understand the reasoning like behind each card selection, because in some cases maybe the lists are tested, like Evans and James's list. So just try to play the games to understand why those decisions were made instead of blindly following the list as well. It goes both ways.
I'm so happy that there's no draft at Worlds.
You a draft hater?
Yeah, same.
Yeah, well, it's because they always change the CC format before Worlds or before Pro Tour and stuff like that, but the draft format always stays the same. And because through various online methods, gamers are able to do 200 drafts. The people that are playing Pro Tours, 200 drafts of a set before the Pro Tour, and so like everyone at the table has mostly got it figured out, and draft just becomes. It's like, oh yeah, he drafted the seats so well. It's like, well, not really. They forced this class and they were a 1 of 1 or a 1 of 2 or just something like that. And it just, things just went their way. Like drafts have just become like a massive, it's just luck, honestly. Like you say like you drafted your seat, but then everyone who topped like the Say Hero or both think it's like, oh wow, how did he see the line to play Gravy in every round of the tournament, you know? Like, yeah, it's just how it goes. Like,
not to like completely leak, but to leak a little bit. When we were testing for London, we were pretty well in the Force Syndra camp, and we were playing on various methods of testing draft, where we were playing with accounts that didn't have our names on it, so that people didn't know that it was us, so that they wouldn't see that we were like forcing. And then at some point, it kind of became better. We realized to test these forcing strategies under our own names, so that if we sat down at the table, people would recognize us as forcing it, and then they wouldn't force it next to us. And it worked out really well.
And you can't just say, oh, but what if the other people drafted the same hero as you? It's like, well, that's just the variance of it. I don't know how else you can say. Like, drafting your seed is such a myth. Like, you can draft your seed and you can draft a pretty good deck, but then like you're trying to spike the draft. If you're X2, you need to 3-0 this pod. So, like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, you can't say like, I was the 1 of 2 because I picked my seat. Like, I don't know. I'm so happy that it's LL. Even if LL sucks, at least you have like some kind of agency in the deck that you play and the cards that you play in your deck, and it's so much better for viewership.
I got some LL hate.
I don't think LL is like the perfect thing, but I'd rather something fresh like LL over just drafting the same set at the table for the 400th time.
Yeah,
I would agree with that. Dude, restricted cards are kind of pain. Like,
oh yeah,
just playing throughout the weekend, I noticed like a very big difference in my chain games where I drew Succumb and the aggro ones, and when I didn't. And like an even bigger thing, dude, I think 2 of my 3 losses were to Warmongers. And it's so fucked because like you can't really take lines that like play better into Warmongers because your opponent's just not gonna have it every time.
Yeah, they only get 1 copy, so like if you just get blown out by it.
There's like a percent of games where you get fucked. And like at least playing Chain, like all your aggro mirrors go like 5 turns. So your opponents are like they're like 1 in 3 on it, they're gonna draw it. And it's like so lame when you lose to it.
Jakuzer had a pretty bad beat story about dying to the Warmongers, right?
Yeah, that's part of what brings this up. I lost to Starvo to like the same thing, and Jakuzer lost in top 8 to Ira to essentially the same thing. Like, it's just so lame that like I kind of agree with what he was saying, where like either just ban all the Warmongers or put them back to 3. Like, make Chain unplayable or make Chain just like super good and you never lose to Warmongers.
Dude, I had the thought of just like if you put Cull to 3, Succumb to 3, unban Husk, so Chain is just crazy. I don't know, and then you just put Warmongers to 3. Would Chain just be bad?
I think Chain would truly probably just be bad. Like, I think you're much weaker into fatigue strategies when Warmongers exist. Like, if you can play 3 of them, it's just so cooked. Especially, like, at least with the Chain deck that I played, I'm playing, like, Duskblade. So if you get warmongered, you just lose all your counters. And like one thing you kind of have to accept when you play Duskblade is like if your opponent hits your Duskblade when it's at 3 counters of warmongers, you probably just lose the game. Like they will be able to fatigue you.
Oh, this just in.
So
Warmongers is now completely banned in Living Legend. All the chain cards are unbanned. And they're now announcing Living Legend, which is where Living Legend heroes acquire Living Legend points. And if they get to 1,000 of them, then they're banned from Living Legend format.
Do you think they could just ban Starvo or ban Chain? Maybe not Chain because it's iconic, but like ban Starvo. I don't think anyone has an affiliation for Starvo, and I love.
dude, a lot of people love Starvo. Starvo is really cringe though. Like a lot of my testing games into Starvo felt like if they didn't just fuse on me every turn, I'd win, especially on Chain. But then there's like some games that are just like unplayable. They go like fuse Spinal U, next turn fuse Oaken, like the game's over.
It's so much worse now with that Crown of Seed because you know it's actually like bad math. Like it's under 50%.
Yeah, I think they're like
that they can actually fuse against you in a given turn, and
they're like 40%.
They just roll you. Yeah, 30%, and then if you don't, I think it's 30% if you don't account for the pulses, and so like it feels so bad that they just fuse on you constantly. And you're just like, I know that this is like bad. This is horrible odds, and this feels horrible. And whereas if Crown of Seeds was legal, at least I know it's legal, and Starbo's more of a presence, and so I can play like unmovable or something.
What feels worse, getting fused 3 turns in a row or getting Warmongers 1 turn?
I think it depends on where in the game you are with Chain, because like there's different degrees of how bad a Warmongers is. Like a Warmongers in the first 2 turns. Oh, Shackle 5. I'm crying. Usually it's like lose the game on the spot.
Yeah.
Kind of depends on what weapon you're playing too. Usually
which one feels worse?
Probably the Warmongers on Shackle 5.
Is it sort of the same as like Awakening, where it's like, oh god, has Awakening now, man? Like
no. So like the problem is you take all this damage, and then you get Warmongered. So then like you leak you take like 14. And then it goes to your turn. You flip like 3 blood deck cards. You play 1 and then take 2 pass with like 3 cards in hand.
Yeah, you take 16, IP a bunch, and then die.
Oh, surely it feels horrible where they're like, all right, turn 2 or 3. All right, Oaken fuse 11. And you're just like, nice. And they somersault it back, and it's like, yep, nice. Like, 2 limited cards.
One of somersault.
This is fun. Like, a card like Bonds of Ancestry, I can see why it's a one-of, because you literally just search it out of your deck because of Zen's 0 power. But, like, fun-ofs, it just feels so bad.
Dude, I got some hate for Zen. I think Zen is like... Well, there's 2 things that could be possible. Zen is either just bad in LL, which I'm leaning towards is true, because, like, every hero can play Balance of Justice and Quick Dodge Flexors into you now. Or all the lists are just terrible. But I'm leaning towards the deck might just be bad when you only have one Bonds of Ancestry.
Possible.
Yeah, well, thankfully, Gravy is more broken than Bonds in CC, so maybe that's true in Living Legend too.
True. The best deck, the best. As a quote, I think Prime Gravy would beat Prime Zen.
Dude, it just might. They don't transcend, bro. It's free.
If they're lactose intolerant, you might win the game. No cheese.
Is New in Living Legend not real? It came top 4.
Oh, okay. Thank you for mentioning this. I need to shout out my boy Ryan Fox. He went undefeated in the Ballard with a nice clean 2-0-4 record.
No way.
Nice.
I do actually think the new deck is really good. I just don't think this was the best event for it because I think a lot of people are just not playing quick enough.
That's fair.
Yeah.
CYB fun.
Bro, I'm a CYB enjoyer.
I think this deck might be the opposite of fun, but I think it seems really good. Like you could play 3 Drone of Brutality, like it's kind of clean.
What are some other heroes that got played and didn't top 8? Like Lexi?
Briar was the most played.
Briar was most played, didn't top 8.
Zen topped.
Zen did top. There was one person.
Yeah. So Briar, Lexi, Dio, Dromai in 9th.
I can't see how Dromai's good.
I don't believe it. I don't think it's good in this format.
Needles just eat you alive.
Probably, yeah.
Needles are kind of fucked.
Ira won the game,
Kylori,
won
alright,
the
pop it with a
tournament.
needle. Kill it with a needle.
It did. I don't think like. I think Ira might just be the best aggro deck in the format. But
Slammed by Gravekeeping? Or you can play around it.
I think it kind of depends. It's kind of hard to actually pop the needles. You can get like one a turn. I think
Yeah.
if you play like Gravekeeping and Briar, it might be really good. Because Briar is like one of the only decks that can actually pop both needles on a turn.
Yeah. Hey, that could be cool. I was also thinking, like, if you that all you got the first needle, it pops, and then you didn't lose a card, so you actually get to draw a card, and then you get to play a 5-card hand.
Usually they just don't present needles unless they're like the first needle for 6, second needle for 4, or first needle for 6, second needle for 3. I mean,
Surely you throw needle for 2 in an aggro mirror.
maybe
Yeah, also, I think their deck is just like bad if they aren't swinging needles.
they do
Yeah.
pick them up
There's-
a lot. So I could see.
There's
them.
too many clunky cards.
But I still think it's fine if you that all you got the first needle for 2, then you draw a card, and then it doesn't matter what it is, because you're going to play a big hand no matter what, so...
Yeah,
People maybe just don't play any tech cards for Ira, and maybe that's why it wins. I don't know. I haven't played any LL, so I was just like spitballing.
So I think there's 3 Living Legend Battle Hardens in between now and Worlds.
Yeah, and there's like 30
Plus a Pro Quest
quests
season.
well, there's like 30 Pro Quests before the ban list. So
true. We'll see.
maybe that gives some data.
We'll see how the format shapes out and how much different it'll end up being from where we are now. But that'll be cool to watch and see how the bans shake things up, or the unbans in this case shake things up there, and then the bans and unban in CC shake things up.
That's all for this week. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Class dismissed.